Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name is Joshua, and today I want to talk about the scumbag uncle even your racist grandfather won't invite to Thanksgiving because he really just goes too far, Tucker Carlson, who released a new video a few days ago on Twitter making an announcement about his future. So let's take a look at it, shall we?
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson.
Jesus Christ, why are you always yelling at me? And also, why are you filming this video inside an empty Cracker Barrel?
You often hear people say the news is full of lies.
Gee, if only we knew someone who had a major hand in the reason people think like that. No, I can't think of anyone. Anyway, please continue.
But most of the time, that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense.
What the fuck are you talking about? What does that even mean?
It could pass one of the media's own fact checks.
You know, those silly fact checks that love to tell me that I'm wrong, or that I'm a lying piece of shit, or that I'm probably partially responsible for the marginalization of thousands of people in the United States. Silly libs and their fact checks.
Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true.
Yes, but here's the thing. Anyone who thinks that the lawyers working for the news agencies in this country are worried about the truth are delusional. The companies are only worried about ratings and ad revenue. And the lawyers are only worried about what said news agencies can and cannot be held accountable for, which is why your former employer loved lying through their chemically whitened teeth, and why they just love to hide behind the "we aren't actual news, we're entertainment, and anyone with half a brain wouldn't take us seriously."
At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind.
Yes, we know. Now, in my last Tucker Carlson video, I had a lot of tuck cucks coming into the comments section of that video and just throwing out, "Oh, I bet you watch CNN." No, I don't. CNN can get fucked too.
Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective.
Yes, we know. Please don't tell me this no-face has more life behind his eyes than I do looking motherfucker is gonna try and act like some kind of bastion of journalistic integrity.
You are being manipulated. How does that work?
Ooh, a free masterclass.
Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie.
Okay.
He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say.
Okay, but having been framed and being arrested are two completely different things. What are you trying to say here?
But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you.
I mean, personally, I would say that you making sure to tell your audience that this suspect had committed the crime 6 times before was you trying to paint this suspect in a negative image before any kind of trial or even investigation. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year.
I just don't understand how anyone can watch this video and not just scream at their device. Yes, you were a master at it, you dumb fuck.
What's it like to work in a system like that?
Insanely lucrative? Just a hunch?
After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories.
But I'm guessing you won't. Or at least you won't be completely honest, because that would probably make you out to be some kind of untrustworthy scumbag to the fools that you've gotten to follow you over the years.
The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it.
I know he doesn't outright say he's talking about himself, but you absolutely know he's talking about himself. Also, I love this whole, "I was too honest for Fox News and they had to fire me because they were afraid of my truthiness" bullshit narrative that he's starting to push.
That's not a guess, it's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that.
Now, if Bitch Boy here had shifted this thought to be more about how if you don't push the message the corporate heads of these news agencies want you to push in lieu of unbiased reporting, then you would be fired, I might have had a flea's nut hair of respect for him. But alas, he's an asshole still.
The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting.
Uh-oh, here comes the defender of free speech and truth posturing.
You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true.
And there it is. What you think is true versus what is true is a very deliberate choice of words. Because he doesn't want to lose the messaging of, if you think it's true, then it is true. because that's how he pushes his bullshit and makes his money.
Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. For old Tuck Tape here and any of his chuds who try to use the First Amendment to hide behind while they spew hate, here's the First Amendment. Read it carefully. Here's a more simplified version of it if it's too complicated for you. The First Amendment protects its citizens from government censorship. It does not mean you get to go out and run your mouth and spew hate and not receive any repercussions. Stop hiding behind the First Amendment when you get called out for being a bigoted piece of shit.
Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech.
God, I'm so sick of this "there's no more free speech anymore" rhetoric that these idiots push. If they really had no free speech, these tools wouldn't have a way to push their right-wing grift.
The last big one remaining in the world, the only one,
He's gonna fucking say it, isn't he?
is Twitter, where we are now.
And there it is. Shitbag here went from sucking on Rupert Murdoch's teat to filleting bitch boy billionaire on a broken-ass site.
Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops.
I mean, it used to be. Now it's a place where chuds who have $8 to spend can make excuses for abusers and racist murderers and push racist, xenophobic, and sexist rhetoric and flood the replies with hate speech. Which, because it's becoming more and more clear every day that the owner of that hellscape site believes that shit too, just gets pushed right to the top of everyone's feeds and replies. So I am not shocked that this asshat is talking up Twitter.
Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing.
Okay, so Twitter isn't a partisan site is technically true if you squint hard enough. But when, a member of the LGBTQ community posts something innocuous about going to the movies or having dinner and they get bombarded with blue check chuds calling them groomers and devil spawn and every other derogatory term and slur they can, maybe the whole everybody is allowed thing isn't that great of an idea.
And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets.
Yes, but also that site that you're currently talking up is currently suppressing content from users, creators, and news outlets that old Jade Mind Daddy doesn't like.
You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter.
Shows what you know. I only use Twitter to follow fellow creators, insult asshats like you, talk about professional wrestling, and follow my favorite sports teams.
The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge.
This us against them bullshit is so weird to watch. I would bet my imaginary house that if he was on Daily Wire or Newsmax, that this video would be the exact same thing. He doesn't give a shit about Twitter. He never will. He just wants to know how he can find another outlet to keep making money.
We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter.
Oh great, a new live video show on a site that barely works, whose whole platform is designed for quick hit information and content. I'm sure that's going to go great.
We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about.
Foxy Boxing?
But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
Let me fix that website for you. So I have to admit, I did not see this human jizrag teaming up with Bruce Wayne but a pussy to bring his manifesto of shit to this hellscape site that is Twitter. The few things that give me a bit of peace with that awful announcement is that 1, the majority of his audience that he's built up won't know how to find his new bullshit show. 2, that he's relying on a live show to broadcast consistently and smoothly from a website that is structurally hanging on by a thread. And 3, with as wackadoo and unpredictable as Mr. Will Absolutely Fuck Robots is, there's no way this partnership lasts very long.